Hi guys, I'm starting a reading vlog today. It's only 4:26 on a Friday night. Why the hey not? I'm actually in between books right now, so I think I need to start reading my book club books for this week. So it's Alice Hoffman's The Probable Future and The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. And I'm thinking about starting with this one because it's shorter. Also because I am going to be teaching it in one of my classes, so if I can get notes done for it, even better. So yeah, this edition of it, by the way, is like a really cheap edition, and it's got tiny print. So I don't know if I like that. I actually think maybe I don't like it, but it's a cheap edition, so I assigned it for my classes. So yeah, on the other hand, the Alice Hoffman book I've never read. I've never read anything by her, and I don't remember a whole lot about what this book is about, other than it seems like there's some magical realism in it, and yeah, I guess we'll see what goes on. So once I have a little bit of something read, I'll come back and update you. Reading update. So I finished reading The Time Machine. It's a very short book. It's under 80 pages in this edition. It's the Dover Thrift editions. You know what it really reminded me of? This French short film called La Jetée. Like this kind of bleak darkness. It's a really short story, so I don't want to spoil anything other than to say that it involves a time traveler. The main character is called the Time Traveler. We have a narrator who seems to be a kind of student or friend of the time traveler, who is basically telling us the story of what happened, and the story as the time traveler tells it to a group of men in the 19th century. He is traveling to the year, let me see if I can find it, 802,701 is where he travels into the future, and then he goes all the way into trying to see the end of time, Earth? Yeah, traveling on this time machine. And so we get to see him spend about a week in the year 802,701 and see kind of what's happened to humanity. What is intrigued me so much about this little book here is that a lot of it I feel is also commentary on the 19th century Europe, right? Like a lot of the things he notices about the future, I think, are things that were in people's minds in the 19th century, or at least in 19th century Western Europe. So I might dig a little bit there with my class, but also I hope to use this as a springboard to talking about the future and the way academics can kind of envision the future. So yeah, really enjoyed this. I would give it 4. Right now I would say 4 out of 5 stars, but I just finished it, so I do need a little bit of time to kind of sit with it and see, kind of give it a final rating. Hi guys, coming to you at a different angle. I still haven't read anything of The Probable Future. Yeah, but I am going to do some reading of that today. I've just been cleaning and doing some other stuff that I might bring you along for the rest of the day. But I just want to do a quick update because last night I went to the movies, and I haven't been to the movies in quite some time, but I saw On the Basis of Sex, which is the Ruth Bader Ginsburg like biopic. It's not a full biopic because it only takes like a small piece of her life, which is when she enters law school, and then when she's working as a professor, and then basically how she takes on a case that begins toppling down sex discrimination in American law. And it was just such a cute, inspirational movie. They show us her relationship with her husband, with her daughter. It's all really interesting, and it made me want to know more about her, especially about her early life, which I did not know very much about, and now I feel like I would like to know more. So anyways, if you are looking for a movie to go watch, I really recommend On the Basis of Sex. I think it's really cute, really well acted too. I think all of the actors did such a good job. Also, Sam Waterston, is that his name? Jack McCoy from Law and Order. He's just like typecast as a lawyer, right? Like every time there's a movie where they need a lawyer, they're just gonna call him, I think. My doogies are playing in the background. Where are you guys? Let me show you a little bit of their horse playing. They keep things interesting. The first time I ever saw them play, it was kind of scary because they can horseplay a little bit much, but because they're about the same size, they can really go to town. Guys, we've got a major problem. I finished mopping, and then as I was just finishing mopping, I saw a cricket. I think it's dead. It hasn't moved in like 10 minutes, but I still have to deal with this cricket. Oh my God, guys, it's in this trash bag that I now need to run outside and throw out. Fortunately, it looks like it was dead. Didn't jump. I swept it too. Alright, I need to deal with my trauma. And then I'll come back. Reading update. I have now gotten into the probable future, and I am on page 126. It is definitely a magical realism story, and it's a story of a generation of sparrow women who all, like, at the age of 13, like the day they turn 13, they inherit some sort of ability. One of the oldest sparrow women, for her was the ability to not feel pain. Another one might be like the grandmother of the story. Her ability is she knows when somebody is lying her. Oh, sorry, Nick. Sitting on his tail. The newest sparrow woman turns 13 and figures out her ability, and then the complications that come with that. This isn't a spoiler, it's in the back. It's in the book description that the youngest one has the ability to see when people are going to die. Like, she sees people and she can see like when and how they're going to die. And so she's at a restaurant with her father and she sees that a woman's going to get killed. And so this is when she's just gotten her ability, and she has her dad go to the police and try to warn them about what's going to happen to this woman. The girl's vision becomes a reality, and now the dad's being arrested. He is a suspect in the murder of this woman. And so when I read that description, I actually thought the book was going to focus a lot more on that aspect of it, but it's not. It is a really slow burn book. On page 126, I felt like I'm enjoying this book enough, and it's for a book club, so I'm going to finish it. But I think that if I wasn't reading it for my book club, that I might consider DNS. This book definitely has an audience. I'm enjoying the character development in it here, the relationships between mothers and daughters and grandmothers rings so true to me, even though, like, obviously there's a lot of complications here that have to be for there to be a story here, and like my life's not as complicated as theirs, but a lot of that just rings really true to me. And I might have to end this blog before I finish the book, and then you will have to wait for my December or January wrap up to see what my final thoughts on it are. But right now it's like a so-so book. I'm enjoying aspects of it, but I'm a mood reader, and it's not exactly what I would have picked to read otherwise. So there you go.